Memorial weekend is coming up, which means probably for most of us attending some kind of barbecue, and the rest of the summer probably includes that too. So I thought I would come on here today and show you my top tips for handling food or nutrition at a barbecue. So the first thing I always do is bring a side dish to share that I know will be healthy, that I can pre-track and count on. And then of course I want to share it with other people too, because that would be weird if I just hoarded that to myself. I'm going to show you how to make a really simple salad. I call it an Italian salad. It's probably just a basic salad, but it's onions, cucumbers, tomatoes, and then it's got some olive oil and red wine vinegar, salt and pepper. Super simple to make. I don't always have the exact same ingredients, you know, because like all the onions you buy are different sizes. So I just adjust my recipes every time I make this to have like the accurate amounts. So what I'm making today is probably a smaller version than what I would make for a barbecue to share. So you might want to double this recipe if you make it. But to start, I'm just going to grab a cucumber and I'm going to peel it. And then I'm going to just slice it up into thin slices and stick it in my bowl over here. Now technically, you probably don't have to peel your cucumbers, but I just don't like the peel, so I'm gonna peel it. If you have an organic cucumber, I'm sure it's fine to leave the peel on. All right, let's get that out of the way. All right. Get my scale out and tear the weight so I'm not counting the bowl. And then I will just get those cucumbers right into there. Just like that. Okay. 253 grams. So like I said, the amount doesn't matter as much. It's gonna vary every time because no vegetables are the same weight, so don't worry about that. The next thing I'm going to do is take some tomatoes. I just decided to buy these cherry tomatoes so I could have a variety of color. They all taste the same, but I think they look nice that way. And then I'm just gonna slice them all in half. I think I got them all. So then I'm gonna tear my scale again and get all those tomatoes in here. And then take the weight of those. So 313 grams today. And you can see getting the multicolored ones is kind of nice because it adds some color. All right, and finally, the onion. It's not Walla Walla sweet onion season, so I got this at the store, but if it was, I would get local Walla Walla sweet onions because they're the best. I'm not biased or anything. My family does grow them, but I really think they're the best. They don't make you cry when you cut into them. This one might make me cry, we'll see. So what I'm gonna do is just slice it into thin, not too thin, but thinner slices, and then I'm gonna make half moons. So I'll just take them. They're kind of like that, and then I'll just slice them straight in half. So you get kind of a little half moon shapes like that. So they basically stay in a bigger slice. If there's any of the peel left, then I just take those little pieces off before I weigh it and add them to the salad. Okay, those look fine. All right, tear the scale and add the onions in. They'll kind of fall apart once I start to mix them up. And the weight on that today is 230 grams. Okay, next thing I'm gonna do is add the oil and vinegar. So first I'm gonna take olive oil and I'm gonna start with 14 grams. I think that'll be enough since I'm making a smaller batch here. And there we go. All right, so this is the red wine vinegar. Okay. So we've got both of those in there. And then I just do salt and pepper to taste. So this is really just kind of up to you. But it does need both of them. So I'll just put a little bit in to start and then I'm gonna toss it. I can come back and taste and add later if I think it needs more. Now that everything's in there, I'm just gonna grab a spoon and I'm gonna toss that all around. All right, so now I'm just gonna take it and I'm gonna put it in the fridge. I'll cover it with some plastic wrap and let it marinate a few hours, but then it's ready to eat and it's delicious. You can save this in the fridge for probably about 3 days before it starts to get mushy. Just make sure you stir it to reincorporate the oil and vinegar because they will settle on the bottom and they will draw some water out of the vegetables. But otherwise, it's a super healthy, nice light salad and everyone loves it. The next thing I do when I'm going to a barbecue is I bring my own protein. Today I'm going to make a lean beef burger so that I can just have burgers. Normally when I go to a barbecue, people have the pre-made ones from the grocery store and those are usually 80% lean, 20% fat, which is a little more than I like to use. So I try to buy 90-10. So I have a little bit leaner ground beef and that way I can control the fats a little bit because I know that a lot of barbecue foods at the party, like the snacks and appetizers will be higher in fat. So I try to save there and usually people don't bother me. I just bring my own patty, throw it on the grill with everyone else's and it's fine. Sometimes I'll do like shrimp or chicken skewers with vegetables. That's another great option that you can weigh and track ahead of time. I have vegetarian friends who bring their own Impossible burger patties. Nobody cares, you know, if you want to do something different, but it's always better to be prepared and bring your own protein if what they're serving isn't what you want or if you don't know what they're gonna serve. That way you have options and you're not stuck. So today I'm just gonna make super easy 4-ounce burger patties with a 90-10 beef and I'm gonna season them a little bit and then I'm just gonna wrap them in wax paper for easy transport. And the reason I'm doing 4-ounce patties is because, I mean, obviously we have the option of doing 2 patties for 8 ounces, but if they're smaller, then I can leave room for other stuff if I would rather have a smaller burger. So that's what we're gonna do. And then my husband can have 2 if he wants and do a double. So just gonna take the meat here and weigh it out so that I can get even numbers. Make sure what I'm working with is gonna work. Yeah, so this is a pound of ground beef. So I will be able to make 4-ounce patties and keep them even. That's super. Okay. Get rid of the garbage. So what I like to put on my burgers, and you don't have to do this, you can do them plain if you want, but I like to do salt, pepper, a smoked paprika, and a little bit of garlic powder. Again, this is totally just season to taste. I don't like it too salty, so I'm not gonna go crazy there, but definitely tastes better with some salt. A little bit of pepper, garlic powder. I don't use too much of this either. It's just to get a hint of flavor in there so it's not super plain. And smoked paprika. You can use a sweet paprika or whatever you have on hand. I just like the smokiness. I put this on everything. Okay, and then all I'm gonna do here is mix it up with my hand, so it's gonna get a little slimy. But I wanna incorporate all those seasonings so they're throughout. All right. Move this out of the way. Put down my wax paper. Tear my scale. And then I'm just gonna add until I get 4 ounces. Or take away. Perfect. So now I've got 4 ounces. I'll just kind of make a little ball here and then flatten it out into a patty on this wax paper. It doesn't have to be perfect. Nobody cares what it looks like, really. You can make a nice, perfect circle if you want. I usually just smash it on there. Fold the wax paper over and move it off to the side and repeat. Don't forget to tear your scale. Sometimes it gets wonky, or the wax paper will add a little bit, but not too much. Whoa, that's too much. Okay. All right, now I'm gonna go wash my hands. Okay, so I've got 4 4-ounce burger patties, and I'm just gonna throw them in a Ziploc and store them in the fridge until I go. These usually last in the fridge for a couple of days, but I try to use them within 2 days because the meat starts to turn brown once it's exposed to air. All right, and then I'll probably just write on the outside here what's in it so I don't forget. And that's it. Now I have a protein to take to the barbecue. Now, the last thing that I do if I'm heading to a barbecue is bring something non-alcoholic to drink, whether that is just a bottle of water or a kombucha. I do have 2 different mocktails that I will post up in the corner, links to if you want to check them out. One is for a non-alcoholic margarita. That's great for summertime. And then the other is a switchel. So both of those are really nice. You can whip them up ahead of time or bring the supplies over and make them there. But it's just nice to have an option that's non-alcoholic when you're in a social situation like that, especially if other people are drinking.